I just want to preface this video by saying anything I do say about anybody in this video is a joke, and please do not take it too seriously. KSI versus Joe Fournier was a fight that a lot of people probably expected to go one way in a one-sided beatdown, and for the most part it kind of was that, but for those of you who haven't seen the fight, unfortunately in the knockout sequence, instead of the right hook, KSI accidentally lands an elbow. No, this was not intentional, it was just a really unfortunate circumstance, but we're going to take a look at the Reddit. KSI has released an official statement, and we're going to go take a look at some funny memes as well. So, to get this started, there is a statement that has officially been released from him, from KSI, and it reads, "I worked very hard for this fight, and had an intense and grueling camp. There's no better feeling than being in the ring and having my hand raised in front of my loyal and amazing fans, who I appreciate so much. Unfortunately, the victory, which was inevitable no matter what, is tarnished, and I hate that. It sucks. After landing that overhand, he was pretty much out on his feet, and I went for a short right hook as Joe clinched me and fell into me. I landed that hook with my glove made contact, but it appears to have been followed by unintentional contact with my forearm. I'm gutted, and that's not as clean as a win as I wanted. Excuse me. And it feels like it diminishes my hard work with my trainers. Either way, I hope you enjoy the show and appreciate the support. Sorry to all the fans disappointed with it. No one is more so than me." Okay, so a couple things here, right? I'm very glad that he's at least acknowledged the fact that there was some part of the arm that hit. I'm not 100% sure if it was the elbow. I'm not 100% sure if it was the forearm. And I'm not saying that this is all KSI's fault. It's definitely not all Joe Fournier's fault. I think it's just a mixture of Joe Fournier was kind of leaning in as the arm came across, and it's just an unfortunate circumstance to have happened, but I am glad that he acknowledged this. KSI is absolutely right to say that, after landing that overhand right, Joe Fournier was staggered, right? As we've seen, KSI does have massive amounts of power in that right hand. So I'm very glad to see that he was at least able to acknowledge what actually happened instead of trying to beat around the bush. Yeah, at the post-fight press conference, it was a little bit unfortunate. It kind of seemed like him and his manager were kind of trying to avoid the topic, and I think that JJ probably had to take a look around with his team, talk with his team, and see what is the best thing that we can do, what's the best way we can go about addressing this, and I'm glad that he just straight up talked about it. I do understand that to him, it's going to be more disappointing than to anybody else, but at the end of the day, I think we know who is going to win regardless. Yes, we cannot sit here and say that there was 100% guaranteed that KSI was going to win a fight. It's never guaranteed, but it looked like that Joe Fournier was on his way out anyway, unfortunately. I wanted to see this fight go longer, to be honest, but we're going to move on here. This speaks for itself. I think I saw this earlier, actually. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, man. No way. Yeah, there wasn't really a whole lot of action going on in this fight. To be honest, I would have thought that there was more to it. I thought that KSI was going to be more aggressive than he actually was, but I think that it's because of the fact KSI had mentioned that Joe Fournier had a bit of an awkward stance and angle to try to deal with, so he had to probably take a little bit of time just to try to figure that out. But yes, this is a very funny video, I'll say so myself. Vicstar violating KSI, put him in the UFC. Wow, you know what? Knowing JJ, because of the whole Wade concept beef, now JJ's going to go after Vic, and they're going to have a massive beef. Diss track season all over again. I want to see it. Let's do it. Have you seen all his friends' tweets? It's so funny that they even know it was an elbow KO. Yeah, and you know what? I want to see what Bazinga actually has to say, because I know that he usually has some honest takes to KSI. He's usually very honest to his friend about how he sees a Tommy Fury fight going and stuff, and he's trying to keep his friend within the center of reality. So I want to see what Bazinga has to say, to be honest with you. Joe Fournier threatened by misfits to not speak about the elbow embarrassment. Okay, I've not seen this.
Terrible sportsmanship from Alexis from London Shoot Fights coming and disrespecting me in the corner when they clearly cheated after that. Embarrassment to the sport of boxing.
What did Alexis say to you?
He was like, you better watch yourself. He was like, I hold all the cards in this game, blah, 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 trying to be, threatening. I'm like, every interview, all I've ever talked was nicely about all of those guys.
It's funny how he's like getting threatened by Misfits allegedly to make sure he doesn't talk about the elbow, doesn't do anything drastic with it. I don't think that KSI would want that, but it's just really unfortunate, like I said, about how the fight ended. But it's funny that Joe Fournier's talking about the fact how he just got threatened. It's like he just doesn't care. And honestly, like, I think it's good when you speak out on stuff like this. If this is true, then again, like, we don't know, obviously. Like, I wasn't there, so I don't, I'm not 100% sure what the truth is. I think it's most likely going to lie somewhere in the middle. I'm not saying Joe's lying, but sometimes people do over-exaggerate details to get people on their side. So that could be what's happening here, but I don't know. JJ, bro, you were complaining the shit out of Logan's illegal shots. That could have finished you, but when you finished Joe with an illegal shot, you claim the W. You were winning, but have some class and do the right thing, bro. Joe deserves it. Yeah, I understand the argument here. The only counter-argument to what you could say to this was, with what Logan did was very deliberate. Logan did that on purpose. Logan held the head through the uppercut and continued to punch as KSI was down on the ground. That was 100% intentional. Whereas with the whole Joe Fournier thing, it was just a matter of the angling with the punch. It was a bit off. Everything was just a bit off. It wasn't that it was intentionally, that KSI was intentionally trying to foul Joe Fournier. It's a bit different than Logan's situation, but I understand the point that this guy is trying to address. KSI training for his next fight. I've seen a couple memes on TikTok, actually, of, like, people, like, showing, like, John Jones clips and how KSI is going to train for his next fight with, like, the spinning elbows and everything. Or I've seen people say that KSI is going to beat Tommy by flying armbar or by a flying knee. People are never going to let this go, too. And it's really unfortunate, but it's kind of funny. KSI training to fight Fournier. It's just Tony Ferguson working on conditioning those elbows. Oh my goodness gracious, man. Okay. We need to chill out, guys. It was an unintentional elbow. It's funny, but come on. We need to chill. I'll agree the elbow was completely unintentional, but JJ, if you're a real man and honestly care about the respect for boxing, you should not count this as a win. It's an immediate disqualification. Run it back with Joe, as you say he's 100% down to fight again proper this time. It's unfortunate. You know what? I wouldn't mind seeing the rematch. I think that JJ will probably steamroll him, but here's the clip. Okay. I want to see what part of the arm connects here. Let me go back a little bit more. A little bit more, I guess. Can we freeze frame that? So he kind of connects with, like, this part of his arm here. It's a forearm slash... It wasn't the tip of the elbow, but it wasn't up here. It was somewhere in here that KSI connected. And, it's a little bit unfortunate. Like we said before, I wanted to see a very clean fight. I'm not saying that JJ's a dirty fighter. I'm not saying... I don't think he is, but this is just... It's a sad way to end the fight. And, if there's a rematch that comes out of this, I'm 100% down to watch that. Clean hit. Don't know what y'all are on about. The glove on the elbow. Yeah, man, I mean, come on. Do you not know that there's hands here? There's hands here. You could just do this. Put a glove on there and you can hit that. Perfectly legal. Am I the only one that hates this guy? Well, I'm going to be 100% honest. I'm not the biggest fan of this guy. Just because of the fact that he was trying so hard to beat around the bush. He was almost like a politician with the way that he was acting about it, where it would be one thing if they just addressed it directly and said, yeah, it was an unintentional elbow. We'll rule this one as a no contest and we'll do a rematch with Joe Fournier. If they just handled it like that, specifically if this guy just handled it like that, I'm not even 100% sure this guy's name. I'm going to be honest, I don't know. That's not Mams Taylor, but I'm not sure. I think it's one of his managers or something. I'm not 100% sure what this guy's name is. To be honest, I don't really care what his name is. All I know is this guy's like a politician. He beat around the bush so hard on it, trying to claim that JJ didn't cheat or JJ didn't throw the elbow. And we 100% can confirm on all angles that it was a forearm / elbow punch. Again, I'm not saying it was dirty, but what I am saying is just don't beat around the bush about it. Be 100% honest and direct, and you'll get a lot more respect out of people for that. Instead of just deliberately lying and saying, no, it was a clean punch, it was a clean knockout. And even if the commission doesn't overturn it to a no contest or to a disqualification, I do still think that, I think it's right to give Joe Fournier a rematch of some sort, or maybe compensate him with some money for his troubles. something. And I'm glad KSI at least, replied to this directly on Twitter, instead of just beating around the bush like this little guy did. And that is all we have for today. I did enjoy making this video. I'm going to try to get more content out here soon. We'll make Reddit reaction videos. We got some Undisputed gameplay coming out, UFC 4 stuff. I can even do some in real life videos if you guys want. Just let me know what you guys are looking for. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you did, make sure to drop that thumbs up. And you make sure to subscribe for more content. We got plenty more coming out soon. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one. Peace!